What is going on, everybody? What is going on? The Catch fam, I hope you guys are doing phenomenal tonight. I hope you guys have all had a great start to your weekend. Hope you guys have all had a great Saturday, but most importantly, I hope you guys are ready for another live 2023 startup mock draft for the 2023 Dynasty Fantasy Football season. Tonight's draft will be a Superflex mock tight end premium. Got 12 teams, full PPR. We are playing 3 wide receivers. And tonight's mock will include third round reversal. This is the final mock draft I will be running for our league number 2 for this year for our Dynasty Superflex leagues. So super excited to hop into tonight's draft. This league will be drafting tomorrow, or at least our slow draft will start tomorrow night. So just super excited to be here with you guys, man, and get into one of the final Dynasty mocks of the offseason for us. So told you guys this thing was starting right at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. So without further ado, let's get the mock going. Mock is live. I'm going to send out one final warning on Discord, and we'll go from there, man. So, like I said, hope you guys are doing phenomenal tonight, man. Thank you guys for being here tonight, spending part of your Saturday night here at the channel. If you guys are new to the channel, thank you so much for being here. And be sure to hit that subscribe button on the way in. All we do here is free fantasy football content all year round, Dynasty, Redraft, and Best Ball. So if you guys are into that, like I said, hit that subscribe button on the way in. Hit that like button whether you guys are new to the channel or not. And most importantly, be sure to hop into the live chat. Let me know what's popping. Let me know how everyone is doing. And of course, any fantasy football topics, any NFL topics, whatever you guys want to go over tonight, get it going in the live chat. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk some fantasy football. All right, we've got Justin Jefferson off the board at 1.3, an early wide receiver. Outside of that, we've got all quarterbacks off the board. In terms of NFL news for the day, nothing to go over. Yeah. I mean, we're still all just kind of talking about Dalvin Cook and moving right along. So, all right, looks like Michael's running a little bit late. So let's get Herbie off the board. And we'll see if Rocky's running a little bit late as well. I'll go ahead and tag some specific people on Discord. And we should be able to get this thing going sooner rather than later. All right, looks like Rocky's running a little bit late, so let's give him... I'm going to stick by the current Superflex mock that we're doing. I'm going to take Trevor Lawrence off the board here to try and keep it realistic. All right. Last warnings on Discord. I'm going to stop tagging people, and I'll just try and keep the draft board as realistic as possible. All right, let's see who's in the house tonight. Godfather, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Hello, hello. Richard Glass in the building, hopping into one of the Dynasty mocks with us. What's going on, man? Always good to see you, man. Hope you're doing fantastic. Godfather, hope you're doing well as well. No pun intended. Taylor, what's going on, my guy? Hello, hello. Andrea in the house. Hello, hello. How we doing tonight? Good to see you. Talk Steven's having a horrible draft for those who don't know. Yeah, so we are in the middle of league number 1, Superflex slow draft. So I will go over we're like 2.5 rounds in so far. That draft started Friday night. Then league number 2's draft is starting tomorrow night. So I will go over the results so far of league number 1 in just a couple moments here. And, you know, I mean, I know we all love to give Steven a hard time, and he loves all of us giving him a hard time, but realistically, Steven is actually having a pretty, in my opinion, a good start to his draft. Cats, what's going on, my dude? Always good to see you. Hello, hello. Richard, first draft this year. Yeah, man, excited to have you. And, guys, the single quarterback Dynasty League number 2, I still have a couple spots open, so I need to kind of get that wrapped up probably this weekend. But if you guys are interested, just go ahead and send me a DM on Discord. And I need to double check how many spots I have left. But I think it's like 3 or 4 spots. So I need to try and get that league filled. And starting to kind of wrap up all of our dynasty drafts for the year. So, let's see here. Kat says, love your start in Superflex League 1. Thank you. I think I'm doing okay so far. Feel like I got some pretty good value so far. So, we'll see what happens. All right, going to go ahead and get a couple players off the board there, trying to keep things realistic. But yeah, let's take a look. Well, I'll make these next two selections, and then I'll pull up league number 1's start to the draft. Made for TVs in the house. What's up, dude? Super excited to have you here tonight. Super excited to have you in the draft tomorrow, man. Really looking forward to playing some Dynasty with you, my guy. Been a busy few weeks with baby number 4. Oh my gosh. God bless your soul. Ready for the draft? Let's go, man. Let's go, let's go. Oh, tough pick here. I do feel like with... I don't know. I feel like I have to go wide receiver with third round reversal. I'm going to go Devonta Smith. I'm going to secure that stack for a couple years. T. Higgins available. JSN, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs. A lot of good names there. Couple quarterbacks. Stroud's off the board at 2.10. Thomas, what's going on, my guy? Been working long hours this week. Excited to have the next few days off and get our draft moving. Let's go, let's go. Excited to have you in the draft as well, man. David, what's going on, my dude? Always good to see you in the house. How we doing tonight? Cats, I'm pumped. 6 point per pass TD is winning the poll at the moment. At the moment, I mean, it'll be final by tomorrow, no matter what. So I'm happy as well to not want 4 points, but that's just my opinion. All right, there's your third round reversal, and into the third round we will go. All right, so for those of you interested in seeing how league number 1 is going so far, let me get that pulled up for you guys. We are almost done with round 3. There we go. Okay, so here's what we've got so far. 8 hours per selection. We've been moving at a pretty decent pace. We made some waves like kind of around dinner time tonight. And so, yeah. All right, so your 1.1, we had Mahomes off the board, followed by Hurts, Allen, and Burrow. To me, I think in most Superflex startups, that's what you're going to see. All right, Fields went off the board next to Senior Cinnabum. Moved up to get his guy. Loyal Bears fan, as is J-Dubs, so... only fitting that he traded with J-Dubs for that selection. Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence were the next two players off of the board. Sorry, I forgot that. All right, well, Rocky's on auto. And let me just go ahead and get this selection off the board for Michael as well. There we go. Okay. So, after that, right. 7 quarterbacks in a row. I really won't be surprised if you guys see that league number 2. Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase were off the board at 1.8 and 1.9. So Lamar Jackson fell back a little bit in this draft, which was a little bit surprising to a lot of people. And I think Steven got a great value at 1.10, being able to lock up Lamar Jackson. Deshaun Watson at 1.11, then Bijan, the first running back of the draft, gone at 1.12. So I was not surprised to see Bijan gone, but that was the only running back on the first round, obviously. So 3 skill position players. Outside of that, all quarterbacks gone in the first round. And in the second round, Garrett Wilson. So Tommy, having the 1.12 goes with 2 skill position guys in a row. Gets 2 absolute young studs, 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, and a very nice start there, even having no quarterbacks. Taylor Gang locks up Kyler Murray behind Watson. Steven locks up Anthony Richardson behind Lamar Jackson. So if you guys are drafting towards the end of the first round, there's some hope for you guys in Superflex leagues who are worried about the quarterback position. I know a lot of you guys in our community, at least, who had later picks in your startup drafts, Superflex style, we're a little bit worried about the opportunity to land a quarterback late, and there's some hope. Okay, Heavy CMC comes out of the gate and goes with Daniel Jones at 2.4. This shocked just about everyone in the league. Age 26, going into his 5th year. A lot of conviction there. Went out and got his guy. I'm not personally against it, but Bryce Young, Tua time, Prescott, Stroud, as well as, Cousins, Goff, Lance. But really, some names that we've definitely seen go before Daniel Jones available there at the 2.4. But hey, you guys know what I always say. If you have the conviction, go in and get your guy. I'm never personally going to be against that. All right, sorry, still running the draft on the other screen here. But CeeDee Lamb and Chris Olave, the next 2 wide receivers off the board. Not much to say there. Very good selections at the 2.5 and 2.6. Bryce Young, the next quarterback off the board to Talks behind Justin Herbert. Then Waddle off the board at 2.8. Followed by Amon-Ra St. Brown. I was very, very happy to land Amon-Ra at the 2.9. I was super happy. I did not think there was any way he would make it back to me, but ultimately I was ecstatic about that. Christian McCaffrey went off the board at 2.10 to Speezy, followed by Spencer's selection of A.J. Brown, which he was very, very happy about. And some of the initial reaction in our league was some people were surprised that A.J. Brown fell back that far and that he was selected after players like Amon-Ra, Waddle, Olave. Essentially those guys. I think Lamb and Wilson didn't really surprise anyone. But, A.J. Brown, I think what it boiled down to for a lot of managers was he's age 25, just a tad older with Amon-Ra at 23, Waddle at 24, and Olave at 22. So for me, I think it came down to age overall. Tua time was off the board at 2.12, followed by Kelsey at 3.1. So Godfather goes with the second quarterback at 2.12, and then picked up the Mahomes to Kelsey stack for at least a couple years, hopefully. So tight end premium league, I can't really blame him. Secures arguably the best stack in fantasy football. Breece Hall was off the board at 3.2. And Spencer is very, very happy with that selection. I don't mind it at all. Followed by Jahmyr Gibbs off the board at 3.3. So one thing that you guys in the community do on a pretty regular basis is definitely go after running back. So this did not surprise me. I landed Prescott at 3.4. I was very happy with that pick. I thought that was a really good value. I did not expect him to be there. I literally wasn't a player I had even thought about. So I felt like it was a really good value. It was too good of a value to pass up. But, man, there are some wide receivers available there at the 3.4 that I was really, really tempted to select, including Devonta Smith and Higgins, who are both off the board, but I won't name any other names. J-Dubs went with C.J. Stroud at 3.5. Talks got his guy, his tight end, and Kyle Pitts at 3.6. JT off the board at 3.7 to Mr. Sarcastic. And then Senior Cinnabum lands T. Higgins. So he's got Fields, Lamb, and Higgins. J-Dubs has JJ, Waddle, and Stroud. Heavy CMC gets his RB1 in Barkley. And then Steven landed Devonta Smith at 3.10. I think this was a really, really good start for Steven. Lamar Jackson, Anthony Richardson, and Devonta Smith. A lot of good names still available. I think he's going to get a pretty solid selection at the 4.3 as well. So, looks like we have a couple people missing from the draft, but I'll keep things tied together here. So, nonetheless, there is how things are looking overall so far. And actually, another player literally just got selected, so I'm going to pull that up as soon as I make this next draft selection here. I'm going to go Pollard. I've been toying with the idea of going hero running back. So I'm going to try Pollard. I prefer, sometimes Eckler really falls back. Did not happen tonight at all. All right, let me get caught back up with the chat here, and then I will let you guys know literally a player in the slow draft we were going over just got selected. All right, let's see. Thomas says Bijan, Garrett Wilson. Let's go. Yeah, great skill position value for you. Talks all guys having some draft. David says I have some running backs, Dobbins, wide receiver, or I have Dobbins is my running back. Wide receivers are J.J. Wilson, St. Brown, JSN Waddle. Whew. I need one running back, one wide receiver. My team is win now, but also very young. I have 2 2024 mid-first, 1 2024 late first, and a late 2026 first to third to trade. Who should I try to trade for? Whew. So, Dobbins your only running back? What other running backs do you have available? I mean, your wide receivers are great. Like, more than great. I don't even know if I would be that stressed about potentially trying to trade any of them. I mean, I don't know, man. Let's come back to that one. And I mean, because I only see Dobbins listed as a running back. Hold on, let me change that Geno Smith pick, guys. He's going to get scary, Terry. We'll have both Washington receivers off the board in a row there. Richard Glass lost power. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I'll keep things realistic. John, you should have not said that because I'm going to take your guy if I can't. Oh, no. Wait, what did I say? Russian, Prescott, and Burr on the same bye. Well, that's a good heads up. I mean, luckily we're playing for the long term, but I am planning on drafting a third quarterback and potentially a fourth. But thank you for the heads up. Okay, let me change the Geno Smith. You know what? With Trey Lance and Tua being hurt, that's actually kind of realistic, so I'm going to leave it. I always end up having to manage like 3 or 4 teams lately when we're running dynasty mocks. It's kind of a fun challenge, but it's also a little bit difficult. So let me keep an eye on these next 2 selections, make sure things are staying realistic. Yeah, I'm going to change these picks, so let's at least get another wide receiver to Rocky, and then, yeah, let's get another wide receiver to Michael's former team. It looks like, I don't know what happened with Mike tonight, but it's all good. So yeah, Godfather says London just went. Taylor Gang gets London at 3.11. I think that's a very good value. And a good selection for him. I mean, him and Steven had the same setup here. 2 quarterbacks and 1 wide receiver each. So I think they both had a really good start. And obviously Kyler's going to miss part of this year, but still I think a very solid start for both of them. All right, let's see. Back on the clock. Wow, I feel like, man, it's a tough pick. Let's go a little early running back. Give me Rashad White. Let's play around with that idea. All right, where were we? Cat says not much trading going on. Yeah, League One playing a little bit conservative so far, which I don't mind. Like literally, I'll get League 2 pulled up, and I don't mind this either. I mean, I think as we move along in the draft, there's going to be far more trading. But I think people for the first couple of rounds are really trying to get that core roster set, and I kind of like that. But League number 2, the draft starts tomorrow. This is how many trades are already on the board. I mean, it is like absolutely crazy already. So, I mean, literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams have already traded. So I don't have a problem with either approach. I really don't. But I do think for League number 1, as things start rolling into like 4th, 5th, 6th round, things are going to heat up in terms of trading. Richard, Storm rolled through and I'll have to be on auto draft. Can't access my app or internet. No worries, bro. I will handle it. And certainly glad just to see you in the chat for a little bit tonight, my dude. Taylor Gang, what do we think of my London pick and Superflex? I love it. I love it. Yeah, I love your start, and I mean, I'm all for Drake London. John is heartbroken. I mean, London was not going to make it back to me. I mean, I don't draft again until the 4.9. I have no idea who I'm going to pick right here. Like, when I picked Prescott, I wasn't planning anything. Like, it just... You just have to kind of let the draft develop and kind of go from there. You know, you really, for me, I'm not really like, I have maybe a small queue, but like I'm not really thinking about that selection until I'm like 2, maybe 3 selections away. As you move into later rounds, I'm gonna be planning to hit a little bit more, but like the board is just going to shift so drastically on and off. I'm not particularly worried about it just yet. Man, this is a tough pick right here. All right, I'll go Freiermuth. I mean, let's get two running backs, 2 quarterbacks, 3 receivers, and a tight end knocked out. I mean, that's going to kind of set our core roster, and then we'll fill in those 2 flex spots and fill out the bench. I think that's how we'll roll tonight. Take an even peel approach, but I don't know if it's necessarily going to prepare me for tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and change that Joe Mixon pick, guys. Let's get D-Hop off the board. And I'll leave Swift. Algier, and we start 3 flex, so I just need another flex and RB starter. So, I mean, looking at that list of wide receivers, like, you're kind of just picking your poison. Like, you're keeping Justin Jefferson. Don't entertain that. I mean, I don't know, man. Your wide receivers are so stacked. Like, Garrett Wilson, St. Brown, JSN, Waddle, and JJ. Like, I mean, dude, you have to find a way to trade literally just one of those wide receivers and get, like, a complete haul for it, including a running back. And, I mean, you might want to pull from your... I don't know. You can literally... You should be able to get a running back and another wide receiver if that's what you want, or 2 running backs for literally one of those players. Especially since in most dynasty formats, the running back position is going to hold less value than the wide receiver position. So I just... Man, your wide receivers are literally ridiculous. It's going to be painful to lose one of those guys when, you know, you could start JJ, Wilson, St. Brown, and flex JSN and Waddle. But I also understand if you're hurting bad enough in other areas, you might want to consider doing it. But, I mean, like, you're literally picking your poison. You cannot trade JJ, and I would not want to trade any of the other wide receivers. But you're just going to have to kind of shop around and see, like, who's going to give you the best haul, because for any of those guys, you should be getting a ridiculous amount of value. Who are you leaning towards? Is there a reason why you wouldn't just trade picks for players, just be left with no picks, and keep all the wide receivers? If you're in a true win-now situation, like if you're literally, like you said, I mean, you're young, but you are a win-now team, that's fine. Like, I mean, you don't want to completely screw yourself in the future, but it is still okay, in my opinion, to kind of take that swing. Yeah. All right, hold on, guys. I'm changing those picks. Changing those picks. Okay, resume. Sorry. I don't think 2 veteran running backs are going just yet. All right, I'm back on the board. Give me Rodgers. I really wanted Purdy, but Bossman really likes Purdy as well, which is okay. Let's see here. Taylor says, Lee 2, so many trade fiends. Yeah, it's going to be a fun draft. I mean, the single quarterback dynasty league had a ton of trades in it, so it's literally all. Yeah, I mean, Michael trades like crazy. Michael traded a ton in the single quarterback league, and he really set himself up very nicely for quite some time. I mean, he has future picks still, and he has a team that can close to. I mean, if everyone stays healthy, close to dominate the league for like 2 to 3 years. So, yeah. Richard, I'm back on to my power goes out. Let's go. Let's go. Got you started, man. I mean, I think you're in a decent spot here. Get some youth towards the back half. Running back's pretty young for you. Talks, I have no Q for the first 5 rounds. Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's not worth, in my opinion, stressing over quite yet. All right, got to go wide receiver here. Let's go Mingo. I need a young guy. I mean, I have young guys, but I need a rookie. Well, I kind of like tonight's start. Would have preferred Purdy over Rodgers. Freiermuth, I was not planning on going tight end there, but I felt like he was the best available player. I almost took another running back, but I just generally am not going to have 3 running backs off the board by the 8th round. You know, like Pollard and White is already a little bit more running back value than I typically go for. All right, I'm gonna let those picks sit. Cook and Cook off the board. With Mixon being selected in the 10th, I don't think that's unrealistic. We'll leave it. David, thank you for your help as always. You're a great man. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the fancy questions. You were great as well. But yeah, man, I just, if you really feel like you're taking that win now approach, you can trade a good amount of your picks. Because, like, I mean, like, you better get a stud running back. I mean, you might even, like, dude, don't get me wrong. You can get a complete haul for any of those wide receivers. JSN holds the least amount of value in comparison to those other guys because he hasn't played an NFL snap yet. But, like, dude, just being able to start JJ, Garrett Wilson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and flex JSN and Jalen Waddle, I mean, I don't know if I would give that up, dude. I think if I were you, I'd trade. I mean, if you have time, go ahead and let us know. Let us know your whole roster. Because, like, I think you might be in a position where you don't need a stud RB2. Made for TV in the house. What's good, bro? Hello, hello. Cats, you don't have squad for future picks? Oh, that's my bad. That's my bad. I thought he was in a much better position. Well, I thought he had a couple, but I think, didn't he trade them? Maybe traded them towards the end of the draft. All right, I'm changing that James Conner pick. That team's got way too many running backs. I think Rashee Rice is fine. I left Kamara for Richard. But realistically, probably could have used a wide receiver. All right, let's see. Who do I want to draft here? I mean, I kind of want to actually draft James Conner, but I'm not going to because I just took him off another team. I don't generally do this, but I'm going to go Cole Kmet right here. And, you know, in the single quarterback league, which is a tight end premium league, I did draft 2 tight ends within like 3 or 4 rounds of each other. You know, I don't really have a problem with that. But I right now, like, Cole Kmet and Jonathan Mingo are my flex options. Like, I want to change that for sure. Man, I wanted Sky Moore. Good pick there, Andrea. I mean, I'm going to go wide receiver with this next pick, and, like, can either get another rookie or I can get a veteran just to fill in. I think that might be the move. Already having Mingo in the flex. I think I go with the veteran. For me, it's Juju Smith-Schuster or Allen Lazard. Like, I'm not super ecstatic necessarily. There are a lot of good rookies left. Jalen Hyatt, Jaden Reed are both sitting here, and I really like both those guys. But I'm going to get a veteran here to kind of even out this roster, and I'm okay with Lazard right there. I mean, overall, my wide receiver core is still very young between Devonta Smith, Drake London, Ayuk, and Mingo, so I'm happy with that pick. And I have Rodgers, so. Joe, it's kind of rough drafting in this league. Most people like to go youth-centric, which forced me, Mac, to go win now most of the time. Yeah. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I do feel like a lot of the mocks are, like you said, a little bit youth-centric, but and that's what I'm assuming that's what you mean is that drafting in these mocks, goes that way, not your personal league. But it's okay to go win now. You just want to keep, my opinion, if you're going to go win now, you still want most of your players to be younger guys, you know. Don't. So I get it, man. I get it. Russian Purdy could be done after this year. I mean, anyone could be done after this year. I'm not too worried about it. Purdy's my late round, third round quarterback that I like to go after personally. I'll take the risk. But if you're worried about the injury, then I understand. Cats, trade them all to me. That's right, he did. I thought he acquired a couple draft picks for next year. I mean, and like, yeah, I don't think he has like a first or anything, but just compared to the draft he came out with, I think overall he came out all right. Made for TV. Shout out to your son. What's up, man? Thank you for joining the chat tonight. Hello. Russian, thoughts on Tank Dell? I really like Tank Dell as a late round wide receiver. Yeah, I'm pretty big on Tank Dell just because I do like the fact that he's coming into the league with CJ Stroud. I do think like through training camp they could develop a nice chemistry. So I'm willing to take the chance on Tank Dell late for sure. For sure. All right, so make sure I'm paying attention to these two. Yeah, I'm going to change that pick. I'm going to change that pick. Both those teams need another quarterback, so there we go. Yeah, I'm a fan of Tank Dell. How do you guys in the chat feel about him? I mean, pretty good ADP right now to go out and get him. Could always be a taxi squad guy if you need to, but yeah, I mean, he goes. I mean, went at 13.5 tonight. Like I like him at that value for sure. All right, so on the clock here, I'll go Chase Brown. Goes Tannehill. That kind of clears up quarterbacks like Hendon Hooker, Stetson Bennett, Kyle Trask, Sammy Darnold, Zach Wilson. Those are your options. I love the Eli Mitchell pick there. I was really hoping he'd fall out to 14.4. I'll survive, hopefully. This next pick is tough for me. Got to go wide receiver or running back. I mean, really for the rest of this draft, that's what I need to do, in my opinion. But a lot of good names available. And I think there could be a pretty significant tier drop at running back coming. Albert's in the house. Hello. What's going on, dude? Always good to see you. David, we got Watson, Tua, White, Stidham, Wilson, O'Connell. Superflex, I'm assuming. Dobbins, Mitchell, Algier, Haskins. Yeah, I mean, okay. I mean, running back's a little bit queasy. Your wide receivers are fine. We've gone over them. On the bench, you've got Demarcus Robinson, Campbell, and Chark. I mean, could be worse, but I really, with the first 5 wide receivers you have, I don't really care about the rest. You're still in a very good position. I'm going to take Rashid Shaheed a little bit against ADP, but he won't make it back to me, and I think he's a great value right there. Tight ends are Njoku, Bellinger, Shoemaker, Latu, Turner. Okay, yeah. 4 first round. Oh. Yeah, I mean, you have 4 upcoming first rounders. How many of them are next year? I think you said earlier. Let me see if I can check. 2 2024 mid. Okay, and 2 late. In the late 2026. Man, I might try to trade. I might try to trade your picks. I mean, all you really need. I mean, ideally, like, you getting 2 running backs you can start is the best scenario for you. But yeah, I mean, you could throw a guy like, I mean, Chark. You You can throw Chark, Robinson, or Campbell around all you want. You probably won't get much back for him. I would keep those tight ends. I'm assuming one or two of those guys are on taxi squad. But I like Njoku, Bellinger, and Shoemaker. I would keep them. I would just trade your picks, man. I mean, you got to start Watson, got to start Tua. And you're really relying on Dobbins. And, I mean, he has an injury history. I would try to trade some of those picks. Not all of them. Try to keep at least two of those firsts. And I would try and get 2 running backs, man. And I think you're in a win-now position. But you could potentially be in a win-now position for some coming years. So really try to play the waiver this year as much as you can for another potential starting wide receiver. And then I would trade 2 of those first rounders. I mean, I know it's intense, but I would try to get 2 running backs who you can start, who aren't as injury prone, maybe even get a rookie, and then keep those other 2 first rounders. And, I mean, a lot can happen by the time you hit your next rookie draft. But, man, I still think you can get two good value picks with 2 of those selections. You keep Njoku, Bellinger, and Shoemaker. I think you're in a pretty good position. But, yeah, you need some help at running back. Because right now you're starting Dobbins and Algier. You know, you just don't have a choice. But I wouldn't be too panicked. You got 2 quarterbacks I believe in. 5 incredible wide receivers. A good tight end room. And I think you can fix up the running backs at the end of the day. Emil's in the house. Hello, hello. What's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. I'll go Robinson here. Rush, another underrated rookie wide receiver, Charles Jones on Cincinnati. Yep, I like him as a late round pick. For sure. I like Sid Tillman. I like Puka on the Rams. I like Tyler Scott. Kind of like Trey Palmer. But yeah, I absolutely agree with you, man. Mr. Curly Wolf's in the house. Good to see you, bro. What's up? What's up? Who's got the better team so far? We'll find out. Find out. Mr. Curly Wolf, I take T. Higgins. I like not only the profile, but the fantasy champion is Chiefs versus Bengals. So take T. Higgins all day to win it all. Let's go. Let's go. Between Smith and Higgins. That's a good point. Looking ahead at the schedule. I like it. David, that's what I will try to get done. Thank you. Yeah, man. And don't panic. You got plenty of time. It's we still got a long ways to go till the regular season, so don't panic. You can certainly work things out, man. But yeah, those starting 5 wide receivers, man, I would be really, really proud. Really proud of that starting lineup right there. Like I said, quarterbacks, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like, you need Tua to stay healthy. You need Watson to bring a safe floor. But I still think you're in a pretty good position, man. And I kind of need, like, a win-now type running back. So give me McKinnon. I'm not, like... I'm fine in drafting McKinnon, but long-term it's not a great move. I actually like this draft tonight. The real draft won't come out this way. Eagles versus Arizona for the championship. That's so ugly. I mean, if the Eagles are in a position where they're trying to lock up home field advantage, which they certainly could be, you know, or even just pushing for overall better playoff seeding, Arizona's defense is not going to be good next year. I would definitely argue that. So it maybe not as competitive as an overall game, but I don't know, man. I don't necessarily mind that. Talk says Hurts for 50. Yeah, like, I mean, it could happen. All right. Okay, tonight's draft going by very, very fast. Thank you guys for drafting with me tonight. All right, into the 17th round we go. So 2 more selections for the night. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, I'm super happy with this draft so far, but this won't happen in a real draft. Not even close. I think I go 1 more running back, 1 more receiver. Let's see, I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 receivers, 4 running backs. Ford is a really nice pick. Give me Kenneth. Can't pass him up. In a real draft, I mean, you're going to have more selections, so. Yeah, I could take another young wide receiver, another young running back. Could go with another tight end. Quarterback's about done. I mean, Trask, Darnold, Wilson, White, Zappi, I guess, could all be rostered. Maybe Minshew as well. But I feel okay at quarterback tonight. What I have, Hurts, Jones, Rodgers. Can live with that. Talk says, watch my last pick. I mean, we always do, don't we? Dave, where do you think Cook and Hopkins will go? I think it'll be the Dolphins and Pats. I mean, I truthfully think Cook is going to go to contender. I think that's, I mean, like, he's not going to be out here really, like, being able to dictate a good, you know, like a big pay raise or anything, you know. Where with Hopkins, on the other hand, I think, I mean, as much as I'd like to see him go to just a straight contender, I think it could be an Odell Beckham type situation where he potentially ends up with the team that offers him the most money. But honestly, I just hope they both go to good teams that also don't screw up fantasy too much. All right, like I said, could go wide receiver here. Could go running back. We'll take another running back. We'll go Evan Hull. Why not? Give me another rookie, taxi squad guy. I like tonight's draft. Figure Zeke has got to be on someone's roster snaking TDs this season. I mean, I do think he will be. I agree. Where'd you take him at the 17.2? I mean, why not? You got McBride, Roshan Johnson, Monty, Sanders. I actually think that's a pretty good pick for you. I mean, Zeke will be drafted. That's for sure. All right, guys. So we are wrapping up the 18th round. Go ahead and let me know if you guys want a team review. And then we'll wrap up the stream. I feel like tonight was actually pretty good practice for those of you guys in league number 2. All right, Andrea, what we do tonight? We got Mahomes, Ritter, and the Brisket. In a single quarterback league, I would be fine with this. In a super flex league, I'd be a little bit worried. I mean, if Ritter works out, then you're fine because you have Mahomes. Even if he's bringing you just like a semi-safe floor. If he does not work out, I'd be very nervous for that super flex spot. And even then, I don't know how high his ceiling is. But he's got playmakers around him. Don't get me wrong. I mean, chat, let me know what you guys think about Ritter. But I like him more as a QB3. And then you got the Brisket, who might not even play this year. He could end up being the backup all year. Ingram and Irv Smith, I'm not totally against that. And even a tight end premium league. I mean, in a real draft, you're going to have a couple more picks to select a potential rookie for the long term as well. Josh Jacobs, Isaiah Pacheco, Kendre Miller, Algier, and Samaje Perine. I'm fine with that running back room. I don't personally really have, I don't put as much value into the running back position in these startup drafts. Although it seems like all of our drafts end up being a little bit RB heavy, but we're playing 3 wide receivers. We have 2 flex spots. It's a PPR league. It's tight end premium. It's super flex. So I really don't, as long as you guys have enough RB depth and you have two guys you can rely on right away and some rookie value for the long term mixed in, I don't really beat you guys up for it. So I think that RB room is fine. Hill, Watson, Ridley, Burks, Sky Moore, Hodgins, Gallup, Thornton. I love this wide receiver room. I think very, very good draft in terms of the wide receiver position tonight. So you'd be starting Mahomes, super flexing Ritter, starting Ingram, starting Jacobs and Pacheco, starting Hill, Watson, Ridley, flexing Burks, flexing Sky Moore. And that second flex, I mean, you have some options. Kendre Miller, as the season goes on, I think could be in there. Algier's a great handcuff for your bench. Hodgins could be in the flex. Pirine for part of the season could be in the flex. Gallup and Thornton could also be players throughout the season that you flex. So I think the team looks pretty good. I just make that note about Ritter as your QB2 is all. But it's still a pretty good draft overall, Andrea. All right, Taylor. The 1.11 tonight. For those of you guys who are starting or will be in the slow draft for league number 2 that starts tomorrow, how do you guys feel right now? Excited, nervous, ready, all the above? All right, Taylor, we got Richardson, Murray, Carr. I would be fine with that start. You know, obviously you're going to play Carr to start the year. But I'm fine for the long term with those guys. I mean, like, Richardson's going to have some growing pains. But overall, for the long term, I'm fine with this quarterback room. When everyone's healthy and out there and Richardson's developed, you could have a very high ceiling. Mandrews and Dulcich, you're fine at tight end. I mean, a real draft, you have additional rounds. You can go get a rookie to plan out for the long term. But Andrews and Dulcich will serve you fine for the time being. Sanders, Monty, Roshan Johnson, Dwayne McBride, Zeke. You know, for not going running back till the 8th, I like this running back room. Jamar Chase, Quentin Johnston, Jahan Dotson, Hollywood Brown, Reed, Pierce, Tillman, Osborne. I love the wide receivers tonight as well, man. Yeah, good draft tonight, Taylor. So we're starting Richardson and Carr. You have Kyler down the stretch. Starting Mandrews. Starting Sanders and probably Monty. Starting Chase, Dotson, Hollywood Brown. Then your two flexes, like as the season goes on, Quentin Johnston, Jaden Reed, and I think Roshan Johnson, Alec Pierce, Tillman, Zeke, Osborne, and even Dwayne McBride all have a shot to make it into your flex. So your bench looks really solid. Very, very good team tonight, Taylor. I'd be happy with this squad if I were you. All right, Cats, what do we do tonight? We got Burrow, Pickett, Cousins, and Mac and Cheese. You're obviously good at quarterback. A lot of just straight up like pocket passers, which is nothing wrong with that. You know, like it's a 6 point per touchdown or per passing touchdown league, so nothing wrong with that. Kyle Pitts and the Shoemaker. I don't really have a problem with that. In a real draft, you'd probably draft one more tight end, at least. Olave, Addison, Godwin, Moore, Downs, and Wilson. I mean, like, I don't dislike your wide receiver room, but you might want a little bit more immediate value, because right now you'd be starting Olave, Godwin, Moore, and you'd probably have Addison. And Downs probably in the flex. I mean, Wilson's good in the 18th round. Downs fine in the 10th, but there's just to be safe, you might want some more immediate value, because when you go to running backs, you got Gibbs and Gibson, which is fine, but after that you got Izzy, Evans, Warren, and Ford. Those guys have a lot of question marks in terms of how much play time they're going to get this year. I love Ford in the 17th round, but obviously real draft you have a couple more rounds to potentially get some more guys, but like right now you're starting Burrow, super flexing whichever other quarterback you want, starting Pitt, starting Gibbs and Gibson, starting Olave, Addison, Godwin, flexing Elijah Moore, flexing Josh Downs. So for the long term, this team's fine, but you might just want to have some more players available who can actually start for you right away. But like I said, long term, I'm not against this team. So how do you feel about it, man? All right, let's see. Talk says Mimsy. I don't even know who that was. Is this one of your sleeper guys? Yeah, Andrew, I think the team was fine and just super flex. I mean, don't get me wrong. If Ritter's a starter and brings you, like, even if the ceiling's super low, you still have Mahomes as your QB1. I think the rest of your team looks fine. Nick, I need more wide receivers. My team was okay, but not great tonight. Let's see what we got here. We got Lamar, staph infection, Bennett. I mean, I'd be more concerned about quarterback. You know, you might get Stafford for one more year. I don't think Stafford's going to play much longer after that. And then, like, yeah, if Bennett is the next starting quarterback for the Rams, that's great. But what if Stafford gets hurt this year? And then, like, you're forced to play Bennett in the super flex. Like, you're probably not even playing him. You're probably putting a skill position player there. Could just get you a disadvantage. Fine with Lamar at 1.8. Hawkinson and Schultz, Kraft. Tight ends look great. JT, Barkley, Henry, Deuce Vaughn. I mean, like, yeah. In a real draft, you're going to have a couple more rounds. You're going to draft another flyer towards the end. But, I mean, running backs look pretty good. St. Brown. Even if those running backs are win now, I mean, they look pretty good, other than Vaughn. St. Brown, Flowers. Flowers are great value in the 6th round. Kadarius Toney, Mike Evans, Juju, Tank Dell, DPJ, Thielen. I mean, I'm not too concerned about your wide receivers. You didn't draft a lot early, but I'd be more concerned about quarterback than anything. Starting Lamar, superflexing Stafford, starting Hawkinson, starting JT and Barkley, starting St. Brown, Toney and Evans, flexing Flowers, flexing Juju. Like, I think you're fine. I think the quarterback position's more worrisome than anything for me. You could flex Derrick Henry too. Yeah, your starting lineup's fine, but you probably want that additional quarterback because Stafford is just a little bit of a question mark right now. And then Bennett, I don't like Bennett as a QB3 personally. QB4 for me. But, I mean, like, yeah, like, you got some good value at the end of your draft, man. The draft looks fine to me other than the QB room, in my opinion. All right, let's see here. Richard says, choose me even though I didn't pick all of them. Let's see. All right, let's see how this team turned out. All right, we've got Tua, Trey Lance, and Geno. I kind of like that quarterback room. Like, you're able to start Tua as long as he stays healthy. You're able to super flex Geno. You have Trey Lance on the bench. I don't mind that. Waller and Jawan Johnson at tight end in a real draft. I think that's okay because then you can draft that late round rookie tight end, second year guy, Cade Otton, Will Mallory, whoever, and wrap up the tight end room. Bijan, A-Chain, Madison, Kamara, Harris, Gus the Bus. I can live with that running back room. A.J. Brown, Devonta Adams, Scary Terry, Hyatt, Zay Jones, Nico Collins, Justin Ross. I mean, I'm actually pretty okay with that wide receiver room. I mean, you need a little bit more youth, don't get me wrong. But like I keep saying, you know, overall, you're going to have more selections in a real draft. So, let's see. You're starting Tua, starting Geno in the Superflex, starting Waller, and you have the option to put Jawan Johnson in there, right? Starting Bijan and Madison, starting A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams, Scary Terry. Then your 2 flex spots like Devon A-Chain, Kamara, Hyatt, Harris, Jones, Collins, maybe even Justin Ross. All those guys have an opportunity to play in your flex spot. So I actually think this team turned out okay. For as crazy of a draft you had with your power going out, I think this team is actually okay for a super flex build, man. Yeah. You want a little bit more youth sprinkled in here. I mean, you're fine in terms of young running backs. I really just have wide receiver, maybe, you know, those later picks. You're getting some rookie flyers. And then you want that younger tight end towards the end as well. But for the purpose of tonight's mock, I think it's okay. David says, I love this team. David, what squad are you? I didn't know you were drafting with us. My bad. Dominic at the 1.3. David, are you just saying you liked one of the teams I went over? All right, let's see here. We got Stroud, Tannehill, O'Connell. I would not feel okay with those 3 quarterbacks in Superflex format. Let's see how the rest of the team turned out, though. I mean, you can start Stroud and Tannehill, don't get me wrong. O'Connell might see some playing time, depending on Jimmy Garoppolo. Kincaid and Conquo, I'm okay with that. Like I keep saying, you're going to have more picks in real draft. You can get another tight end towards the end. Eckler, Dobbins, Charbs, Mixon, Connor, Penny, Singletary. I can definitely live with that running back room. J.J. Cup, DJ Moore, Lockett, Boyd, Van Jefferson. I mean, I'd like to see more youth in there. A couple rookies, maybe over Boyd and Jefferson. I think you have enough veterans in the first half of your draft to just go. I mean, even if it's Boutte, even a second-year guy like Dobbs, Tillman, Thornton, Wilson, I would go with players like that over Boyd and Jefferson personally. So, yeah, I mean, a little bit more youth at wide receiver towards the end. And I'd be a little bit worried about quarterback in a super flex format. So you'd be starting Stroud and Tannehill. I mean, you just got to imagine Stroud's going to have some growing pains. And Tannehill is on a very short leash. O'Connell is fine to draft, but he's got to be a QB4 in my opinion. Starting Stroud and Tannehill, you're starting, I'm going to say in Conquo, but probably Kincaid as the season goes on. Eckler and Dobbins, J.J. Cup, DJ Moore, flexing Tyler Lockett. Then in that second flex, I mean, you got Charbs, you got Mixon, you got Connor, you got Penny, Boyd, Singletary, Jefferson. Any of those guys can make it into your flex, but it's probably going to be like Charbs, Mixon, Connor, one of those guys. So everything looks fine other than the quarterback room makes me a little queasy. And I would personally go for more youth towards any of your draft at wide receiver. But starting lineup doesn't look too bad. So you'd definitely be drafting a quarterback sooner rather than later in a rookie draft. So, all right, let's roast my team. Thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Thank you guys for drafting with me, talking some fantasy. I appreciate you guys being here. Hope everyone's having a great Saturday. Okie doke. Hurts, Danny Dimes, Rodgers. I would be fine with that quarterback. You know, I got Hurts just got a massive contract. He's age 24 going in his 4th season. Jones just got his bag, age 26 going in his 5th season. And I get Rodgers to kind of fill in, hopefully for 2 years. Could be 1 year, could be 3 years. Who knows? Wanted Purdy, got Rodgers. Pollard, Rashad White, Chase Brown, McKinnon, Kenneth Gainwell, Evan Hull. So probably a Brown and Hull on the taxi squad, but Pollard, White, McKinnon, Gainwell, I'd be okay with that going into the season. I don't put as much value in the running back position. Devonta Smith, Drake London, Brandon Ayuk, Jonathan Mingo, Allen Lazard, Rashid Shaheed, Randall Robinson. I would be fine with that wide receiver room. Freiermuth and Kmet tight end in a real draft. I take one more tight end late. Rookie, second-year guy. I'd be really happy with that tight end room. All right, so I'd be starting Hurts, superflexing Jones. Could throw Rodgers in there if I want. Starting Pollard and White. Starting Smith, London, Ayuk. Starting Freiermuth. Then in the flex, I got Jonathan Mingo, Cole Kmet, Lazard, Rashid Shaheed, Robinson, McKinnon, and Gainwell, and Brown and Hull. Probably make it to the taxi squad, but depending on how a real draft goes with those more, additional selections, they could be on my bench. So I like this team. I'd be fine with this team personally. But we had a couple auto picks here and there, and the real draft's going to be different. It just is. It really is. So, but for the purpose of the mock, I definitely like how things went. All right, guys. Thank you guys, like I said, as always, for hanging out tonight, drafting with me. Certainly hope you guys are getting excited if you are in league number 2 to start our draft tomorrow night. We'll probably get through the first round tomorrow night, maybe a little bit into the second, but I wouldn't plan on much more past that. But yeah, man, I'm super excited. I hope this was good practice for those of you guys in league number 2. And yeah, man, hope you guys have a great Saturday night. I'll be back on tomorrow night, probably do a redraft or underdog draft tomorrow night. And then we'll just kind of go from there, man. So everyone have a great rest of your weekend. Have a great Sunday. And thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Really appreciate you guys. All right, be sure to hit that like button on the way out. If you guys are new to the channel, thank you for joining us tonight. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and check out the links down below. Follow us on Instagram, as well as join our free Discord for mock draft invites, updates on the channel, all that good stuff. Outside of that, that's going to wrap it up tonight. So, love you guys, man. Love this community. Love the Catch fam. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Andrea, Taylor, Nick, Sir Bongs a lot. He just came in last minute. Dominic, David, Richard Glass, Godfather, Tox, Cats, Emil, Russian, Albert, Joe, Made for TV, Taylor Gang, and everyone else who came by tonight, everyone else who tuned in, listened, hung out, whatever. Thank you guys for being here. All right, guys. With that, I will say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on The Catch. And